I remember always wanting to see Indra and Asura's life, those two growing up, a fight between those two, and that's exactly what we're getting. So I hear a lot of complaints like, oh, why are we getting this material? It's another season of Naruto Shippuden filler. Not really. It has canonical aspects that apply to the story. I've already addressed those rumors. Regardless, seeing Asura there near the divine tree, seeing all of those sick patients in the village, this is actually the land where Hagoromo himself blew up, and a lot of those sick people could be from that generation where the divine tree was affecting everybody. I'm not saying all of them are necessarily a part of the divine tree experiment, but you never know. Clearly, this is Kage Otsutsuki's fault, though, you know what I mean? She tried to enslave humanity, and this is the product. A lot of sick people still affected by the divine tree's power. And seeing Asura tell that girl, like, I don't think I can help her, it's just so weird because you're so used to seeing characters be able to help, you know, especially when they're in situations where their skills are supposed to be applied. Asura has skills. He probably even has the potential to heal her, but he can't do anything, and it adds extra impact because this is a girl that he could potentially pair up with. I mean, he even went on to heal her, and keep in mind, she actually attacked him, Asura, and Taizo, both of the two wanderers that went out there to this ravaged land to help people with this problem. Well, in this little battalion supposedly protecting the village or whatever from intruders, the actual attacker attacked the other one, a part of his group, which ended up being the girl, and, you know, he ended up healing her. That would have not happened with Indra. Indra'd go ballistic. He'd knee those motherfuckers to death in the same way that he kneed his brother Asura when he helped that guy Taizo because he needed more punishment because he broke the law. Yeah, he was trying to help his sick mother. You decided to go police brutality crazy on this dude because of a few trees, man? Like, do you really care about the trees? No, you don't fucking care about the trees. You just have this obsession with power. The power's corrupting you, and because of that, when somebody breaks the law, it messes with your head more because you feel like you're a god and everybody needs to follow your godly rules. So if you couple in this sick mother that's related to the girl that Asura is probably going to end up falling in love with the fact that in general, every time you see a powerful shinobi like near someone sick, they end up healing them or trying to help them, but not just like saying, I can't really do anything. I'm like, no, no, no. And I'm really curious if these people are just going to die because they're sick and it's too late for them, or if there's still time and it's the divine tree which is in the way of them actually surviving, and maybe that's what Asura is going to deal with next week's episode. Are we going to see Indra's adventures? Because I'd honestly prefer seeing Indra's adventures as much as I care about these sick people, as much as I love Asura. In general, though, I just love seeing these two's lives as they wander the ancient world. Indra created ninjutsu, which brought a lot of instability to the world, but it was still very entertaining for us because we got to watch all of that instability. And let's be honest, the Naruto story would not be the same without ninjutsu. On the other hand, you have the antithesis to Indra, Asura, who is this very loving, peaceful, simple guy who goes around helping people, and he sees the good in people. Whereas Indra does not see the good in people anymore because he's corrupted with power, so he looks at himself and he's like, other people must be like me. They're like, you know, evil, they'd be assholes, but no, it's just that you're an asshole because not only is your father not getting involved in your life, which means it's also partially Hagoromo's fault, but you got Black Zetsu in the background lurking around making him a fucked up individual. You see, the experiences you have earlier on in life kind of shape you into the individual you are in the future, and if Hagoromo's not involved in his life and Indra's only like person to go to is Black Zetsu because Black Zetsu appears, well, how is he gonna turn out? Because he was so innocent, he didn't even think for a second jumping in to save his brother Asura. You know, he fucking went in there and he started fighting this boar. He electrocuted that thing at a moment's notice, and then he ended up passing out. So this was like a very risky technique. He didn't even think for a second about saving his brother, and that's when he was really innocent. But when you're that young, it's very important to have certain people around you and to have certain experiences, and if you don't have those people around you, like Hagoromo not being involved in his life, and you have bad forces working you in the opposite direction, well, you're gonna turn out like Indra is right now. And all that aside, despite how heartless Indra's become, I mean, this dude's bullying everybody. He's going extra hard on people who are just trying to get some medicine for their sick mother. He's putting them in fucking jail. He's like beating up on them, going extra hard like, you don't need to do any of this. Brother, you're going to need to have to fight me now because you don't understand the importance of laws. And that's the big issue. You can't have power without love, but you can't have love without power, and that's where the two brothers sort of complete each other. The big problem is that Hagoromo, he's actually catering more to Asura, and he didn't set things down correctly. You can't leave everything to the kid with the good heart when you have the kid that's super fucking skilled, way more skilled than the kid with the good heart, and he needs to apply his talents to the world. You can't neglect one, and that's what he ended up doing, whereas he should have like split it up, and he didn't end up doing that because, you see, he has the power and he has the love. So if you combine the power with the love, you could end up with a better product. And that's why when Hagoromo returned in the present timeline as a spirit, he seems really depressed because he fucking failed, right? He didn't pass everything down correctly, and boy, did that lead to a lot of death, slaughter, human suffering throughout centuries. And I'm sure this will be a factor in the next few weeks, but I can't wait to see what actually turned Asura into the guy that was like, nah, I'm cool now. Now I want the power. Now I want to hold this shit. My dad gave it to me, because keep in mind, right now he does not want the power. He trusts his elder brother. He's like, nah, he needs to lead everything. So that must mean probably that not only did he get stronger, maybe power actually corrupted him a little bit, but maybe he saw Indra do something so messed up and he lost faith in his older brother. But I give the father the biggest L. I think he's actually responsible for the path that Indra went down on, because he's there in the background. He's got the time to talk to Asura like, what do you think about Indra's eyes? What do you think about the Sharingan? Like, I don't fucking know, Hagoromo. You unlocked that shit first. You were inside of the Divine Tree. You saw that girl that you liked, that girl that was scared to actually go in this, like, ritual shit, and she actually gave you a necklace. You saw her there dead. You couldn't save her, and that enraged you so much to unlock the Sharingan. So if anybody should understand these emotions and get involved in the child's life, it should be you. That's the thing. You can believe in free will and letting your children, like, decide on their own, right? And maybe they will come to the good conclusion in the end. And that's like a smart approach, but not if you have Black Zetsu and you have these evil forces working your children in the opposite direction. So this dumbass is like, hey, Asura, do you see his Sharingan? Like, what do you think about it? Isn't that shit weird? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think about it? It's like, dude, you have this Sharingan. You understand it. You should be speaking to Indra, not Asura. Like, Asura doesn't need the advice. Listen, it could be Asura that turned evil, right? It could have been Black Zetsu working on Asura instead of Indra, and the same thing would have ended up happening. It would have just been a dumb motherfucker that was evil instead of a smart motherfucker that's evil. So if anyone understands the emotion, the curiosity that Indra and his future line, for instance, the Uchihas, will bring about to the world, I mean, who ended up mixing Indra and Asura chakra to actually form the Rinnegan? It was Madara. It's the Uchiha line because it's all based on emotions. The Uchiha are emotional people because they come from Indra. That's his genetics, right? So again, you should understand this, Hagoromo. Like, if this was Hamura, your brother, he wouldn't be like this. He would be more understanding. He would speak to both. But because you're somewhat stubborn yourself and you don't think Indra's going to listen, like he's not, you gotta force him to fucking listen. You gotta start kicking his ass, and I know you could, but because you don't do that and you're not involved and you're asking the wrong people the wrong questions, that leads Indra to continue the vicious cycle of being an ass to everybody, and he was giving people death stares. Like, he wanted to just slap some people in the face in this week's episode. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I had Indra's power, if I created ninjutsu, if I was supposed to carry on the line, I'd be angry too. I'd be an asshole too.